Like, it goes from Bugs Bunny sounding like this to, "Ooh, I'm dying!" You know, like that weird Mel Blanc, and you could hear the echo in the room. Like that. I always wanted to put that in somewhere.
Well, g'day and welcome to the podcast. I think we're in for a real treat today on the podcast. We have someone who, well, you might recognise his face, but I'd put money on you'd recognise his voice from countless different animated series. I'm talking about Eric Bauza. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Doc. I think this is what you were talking about.
That's exactly what I was talking about. I had to write a little list down here because your career has spanned so many years and you've played so many different characters. As I was sort of stalking you on the internet, I was just shocked.
You mean doing research? That's what they say, you know.
Research. Okay, let's have a look through here. So I've just put just a little list of the top ones.
Sure.
So we got Bugs Bunny.
That's right.
Daffy Duck.
Yep.
Porky Pig.
Yes, sometimes.
Marvin the Martian.
Yes, isn't that lovely?
It's remarkable that you can just go from...
This is what I like to call years of couch potatoing. The experience of sitting on the couch, watching and analyzing stalking these characters as long as I have. And, you know, it's all because of the great Mel Blanc. He was the original voiceover artist behind these characters. And to know that I get to kind of give back to the characters that help raise me as a kid, that help influence me to become an artist.
Yeah.
Not just a voiceover artist, but a cartoonist. You know, these are some of the greatest cartoons ever made.
Yeah. It is. It really is. It just stands out so much. I want to just a couple more characters because I do want to talk about Mel Blanc as well. So we've got Puss in Boots.
That is for another studio, but that is correct.
Fozzie Bear.
Waka waka.
So good. All right. Stimpy.
Happy, joy.
Yep. We've got Elmer Fudd.
Be very, very quiet. We're talking about Warner Brothers characters again.
Yosemite Sam.
Ooh, I hates that rabbit.
Jimmy Pesto from Bob.
Sometimes the celebrities they go away sometimes, and they get the blue collar 9-to-5ers like me to step in. Hey Bob, I'm gonna put some of my meat in your freezer. Hey, that's a zoom. Yeah.
We've got Baby Gonzo.
Oh, actually, not me. Gonzo was a different character, but I'm a weirdo just like Gonzo.
So, I can approximate like a Gonzo. He's kind of like that in that area.
Yeah. Okay. And you did some work with the Ninja Turtles as well, didn't you?
I think I've played everyone except April. That's the only character.
Is that right?
No. I'm going to say I've played Leo twice.
Yep.
Donatello once. Master Splinter once. I haven't played Mikey. I've played Raph in a pilot.
Oh, Raph.
So yeah, I've had a chance at most of the characters.
Do you have a particular favorite Ninja Turtle? Like when I was younger, we all choose in the playground at school. We chose a Ninja Turtle that we had to be.
Yeah.
I was Raphael.
Yeah.
Well,
I could see that.
I couldn't do the voice. I just thought it was a lot of fun.
Physically, you embody. Physically, I embody Splinter. Unfortunately for me.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm talking about height requirements. You know, I still have to wear high heels to ride roller coasters. But Leonardo, there was a really cool crossover that Warner Brothers Animation did with Nickelodeon, and it was TMNT versus Batman.
Yeah.
It was Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Gotham City. So you kind of had New York, Gotham, kind of in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it was so cool to see the Turtles, arrive in Gotham, kind of get a feel for this neighborhood. And then the first thing they tried to do, of course, is look for pizza in Gotham.
Yep.
But they encounter Batman, and I got to play Leo in that. And it was basically just my own voice for the first, once in a blue moon, they'll just let me get to be
talk.
myself. Yeah. But, there lies the challenge for me, because usually the disguising the voice is something that I use, as a crutch for, performance-wise. But being able to kind of, really, I never thought in a million years I'd be as deep in the Ninja Turtles culture as I am, and it's just kind of an amazing thing. It's like, I don't want to say it's evergreen, but it really is.
TMNT, it was just growing up when that hit. It was something else. I feel like we're kind of around the same age, and that whole world. Do you just pinch yourself now as an adult, looking back, because you're in all these? I mean, these are legacies that you've joined that were so dear to us when we were young kids. Even, I mean, Looney Tunes in Australia, Saturday morning.
Yep.
That was what you did. Is we had, I don't know, 2 or maybe 4 television channels to pick from.
Yep.
And one of them was cartoons. And Saturday morning cartoons was it was religious. It was like going to church. We'd sit in front of the TV, bowl cereal, and watch the Looney Tunes. I mean, you're a part of that world. Did you have that experience growing up, like watching?
Absolutely.
These characters?
That was me in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We had a few of our own channels, as well as like the parent networks like NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, and all that stuff. But locally, it was I was on Channel 3, Global Television, and we'd have the Bugs Bunny and Tweety show. That was, I like to call that the 90s renaissance of Looney Tunes, because I feel like the original run was from like the late 30s, early 40s, all the way till like the 60s, maybe even the 70s. Yeah. And then, all the way up until Mel Blanc passed in 89, they were still kind of making these compilation films, that, with little brand new interstitials. You could clearly hear Mel getting a little bit older, but it was really cool that they kept him all the way until, he wasn't able to do it. And from what I hear, all the stories, he was just so happy to be behind the mic, or, just like getting to see June Foray kind of like walk into a Looney Tunes session, the first lady of animation voiceover, spring into life into Granny's voice, like just instantly turn into this character. It was like a superpower, witnessing someone with a superpower. And, after Mel passed, I remember they started making newer shorts in the 90s. Definitely way different, but in the same vein as the classics. And it kept going. And I never, ever imagined that, being a kid sitting in front of a TV set with a bowl of cereal, thinking that decades later I would be a part of this same legacy. And working with people that I would read the names of in the credits, I hate to make them sound old, but
no, but
I'm talking about all 3 Animaniacs, Rob, Jess, and Tress. I just, those are the pinch me, I'm dreaming moments too, where you get to work with your heroes and become friends with them, and kind of also relate to them in the same way, because they also had Looney Tunes is like 95 years old now.
Yeah, it's going to be 100, I think, in 2030.
So like they've been around for a lot of people's childhoods.
Yeah. So how did you navigate that? How does a young boy, cereal box in Canada,
from Canada, by the way,
make it all the way to Los Angeles? What happened between leaving Canada and, I guess, auditioning? I'm assuming you auditioned for the Looney Tunes.
Most interviews that I have about now is when you would see the childhood photo of me wearing in the 8th grade a really disgustingly gross, tacky Bugs Bunny button-up shirt on picture day. That people thought was a pajama top. I was like, no, this is an adult garment that has buttons, and I got it at Six Flags Magic Mountain in like 1994. So it was like purple. It was just, I love it. I still have it. I still fit into it, which you still
wear it occasionally for special occasions.
So I was either a really big kid or I'm a really small man. So, incredible. I just love the character so much. I would have these shirts even if I weren't the voices of these characters. And I think that's just where it starts. A lot of people, I always say, land on the Warner Brothers side of the fence, and then the everybody else side of the fence in animation. There's something that was so unique about these characters that was a little bit more in tune with my sense of humor. Like the breaking the fourth wall. Absolutely. I also feel like Warner Brothers Animation was kind of the very first to kind of spoof celebrities. I've never seen anyone make fun of Frank Sinatra so much in a cartoon.
Yep.
You know, or use people like Peter Lorre, like famous character actors from that era. But yeah, and I would always be like, who is that? That's someone. Clearly they're making fun of someone, and I would have to like look because I didn't watch any of those, you know, film noir movies back then. It inspired me not just to do voices, but to be like a cartoonist. And I was always that kid in elementary school, all the way up until high school, that even the teachers would be like, "Can you draw this for me? Can you draw this thing?"
You have the skills on the drawing as well.
Yeah. I would send away long before the internet. I would send away, you know, via mail to the Chuck Jones Animation Art Gallery for the catalog, because there was no internet. The catalog, when you used to have to write down the number and send your check and mail away for this piece of art, I would send away for that little book, and it was like, you know, the size of a TV guide. Again, dating ourselves here. Because it was small enough that you could see the artwork well to buy it, but not big enough that you could reproduce it and kind of like, oh, I don't need to buy the art. I have this, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But it was enough for me as a kid to kind of like want to redraw Bugs and Daffy and Tweety, and like that's kind of like how I learned how to draw. And the voices would come
when did
later.
the voices come?
In high school. That was me being a troublemaker.
Were you a class clown kind of character? Yeah.
Imitating teachers, kids.
I'm sure that went down well.
Don't do that, kids. Just do your homework and stay out of trouble.
And
stay out of jail.
Was it with a Looney Tunes focus, or were you just doing all kinds of voices?
Just doing all kinds of voices. I think it was whatever would make people laugh. That's all I cared about. And in a sense, that's all cartoons are. You know, the purpose of a cartoon is to make people laugh. Did your
parents enjoy it?
I think they were worried when they would hear 50 voices in my room and it was just me.
They're like, honeys,
they're grabbing the holy water, you know, Exorcist. But another Warner Brothers property. But you know, the deal was this: that if I did my work on time and, you know, passing, like good grades, not just passing, but good grades, then I would go to the main office the next morning and do the morning announcements in whatever voices I wanted or whatever. So
you
not
got
only
to go to the principal's office
in the office over the PA system.
Oh, that was the best job going around.
If you could, because I know you're a broadcaster, you know, so I know you probably
if you got
did
invited
that,
to the, not like you did, but if you got invited to go and make the announcement over the PA, it's a big deal. People noticed.
But that's the thing. It's like I was no longer the class clown. I was the school clown.
Yeah.
It was the school captive audience. You know, I had my first podcast.
Did they give you the freedom to do?
Yeah, I was doing all sorts of impressions. You know, I was like, "Woo, Marge, there's French fries in the cafeteria." You know,
Oh, Homer, that's bad for your cholesterol.
Wow.
you know, like I would do all the impressions. No one was safe. You know,
People would've
cartoons
loved
people.
that.
So then when I would leave to go back to the classroom, people would be like, "Was that you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then the next, you know, and then the pep rallies and the assemblies, making videos, and then it was college. You know, radio, television, and film production. We actually, I studied in the same campus and school. That if you're a Canadian, you know, watching this, you'll know of this show. This was our Beverly Hills 90210. It was Degrassi Junior High or Degrassi.
I remember Degrassi. We got that in Australia.
You got it in Australia. I know you guys
Junior
did.
High, yeah.
So I was in those same hallways where all those kids, like it was Centennial College. It was the same location as Degrassi, outside and inside.
No way.
It was ridiculous. People from
big series for us.
Yeah.
I can't remember anything that happened now. It's a long way, but that was
It's pretty jarring when you watch it. You're like, oh my gosh, Canadian kids content is different. It really hits home. I was still that same person from elementary school, high school, in college. The same thing. Everyone would gravitate. Oh, can you do this? Can you do this? You know, like, can you do me a favor? And it kind of just led into animation. I started working for studios, and the best part about working for like smaller studios is they'll just pull anyone that's at the studio if they need like a temporary voice, scratch dialogue.
I was
going to
say it's sometimes being in a smaller house like that. It's like you get the opportunity to try things out and
you know, there's so many talented people working at these studios I worked with. Aaron Horvath, who I was sitting, like, you know, we would sit in these rows We call them. I call them the trenches, the bullpen. You know, you got your horse blinders on, and you're just working away. I always equate animation to like I was like the lettuce guy at Taco Bell. So like someone would hand me the taco, I'd put the lettuce in, and then hand it to the tomato guy. But that's animation. It's assembly line. You know, you do the writing, then the storyboarding, then the layouts, then the animation, background painting, music, editing. It's all like, you know, every move towards the end pluses the story and the product and the animation story. But I just remember the people that were sitting in the rows. There was one guy, Aaron Horvath. I would never have guessed that this guy would be the guy that was like one of the showrunners for Teen Titans Go, and then later become one of the directors for the Super Mario Brothers movie, which made like over $1 billion. You know, like
wild.
But you know, I never guessed that I would be the voice of Bugs Bunny either, alongside like a lot of these folks that I kind of came up with in animation. And again, when the thing about animation too, in general, it's versus like the live action world, it seems a little bit more cutthroat. Not to say that animation isn't competitive, because it is. But everyone's kind of like wanting you to do well when they see that you have an interest in something, or that, hey, you know, he could be better, but he's a nice guy. We'll give him a chance. That's kind of been my career, jokingly, but also seriously. A lot of the reason why I'm in the position I'm in is because of the kindness of strangers. You know, people that are just like, oh, you just give him a shot. You know, and then that's how I learned, because I didn't go to school for performing. Like, I didn't go to school for theater.
I wanted to ask about that because, I mean, obviously the voices, you know, are a natural talent, and, you know, acting is obviously a natural talent for you as well. Is there a way to learn that skill, or is it?
I learned it, like, I feel like I always tell people I got paid to go to college, like sitting in a room with someone like Tara Strong or John DiMaggio, you know, during Ben 10 Omniverse. That was like the biggest education. Greg Sipes, so many people were in that room. And this was like, you know, way before social distancing and all that stuff was a thing. Recording at home is like primarily how we do it now. Unless you prefer to go into studio, you could still go into studio. It's nice to do that. It's nice to see people.
It's nice to see people, have the energy.
Not to be trapped in this box. But I used to be we used to be in a room no bigger than this with maybe 3 or 4 microphones set up like in a horseshoe. And there would be 3 or 4 people on one mic. Like, that's how many people, like 12 people would be in a tiny room like this. And I would have to sit on the floor and wait my turn. But there I am watching Jeff Bennett and Rob Paulson doing, you know, dueling Don Knotts impressions, you know? I mean, that's Yakko Werner and Johnny Bravo right there hanging out, you know? And I'm just like, I won the lotto somehow. And then, you know, John DiMaggio just being himself. And I'm learning from, again, people that I look up to and people that I admire. And also, they don't have to give you the time of day. You know, they go in 9 to 5, do their thing, they could leave. But they again, versus the live action world, the point I was trying to make was the generosity and the welcome, you know, the kind of welcome wagon that animation voiceover is, only inspires you to be better.
I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's a pretty positive industry to be in. There are other industries that are less positive.
And you know what? It's also like, boy, oh boy, you know, I always think about, and, you know, we're on camera now. This is a nice conversation. But I think about like those productions, film and TV, that hours and hours and hours of work that go into
huge days.
It's you have to really want to be there and really, really want that to, you know, if that's your choice in career, then my hat's off to you. I prefer my free Warner Brothers water and
the fancy water and the cozy velour couch.
And the guarantee that I will be home in 4 hours. You know what I mean? Like,
So you went from the animation point, so you're doing the drawings and then being exposed and doing the occasional roles. And then at what point did it become, I'm going to shift over?
That's the jumping off point, because again, with performance, as you'll know, and animation in general, like entertainment in general, it's like once you have that job, hey, it's great. If it's an anomaly like The Simpsons or Family Guy, it'll go on for decades and decades and decades. But then there's the few in between that don't. Some that go on for a season, 2, maybe 5 seasons tops. usually that's the life of a cartoon in regular animation, whatever that is anymore. But you know, then you have to go on the job hunt for the next gig, and there's no security net. They don't have to call you back. They don't. You know, you could have had that one stroke of luck, and then you just go back to Taco Bell. But you know, again, if you play your cards right, and you just be nice, they will. It's like thinking about this. It's like, who do I want to party with? That guy or that guy? That girl or that girl? You know what I mean? It's like, if you're fun to hang out with and be around, then guaranteed you're going to get at least another shot at another show. Yeah.
Is the audition process pretty, I don't want to say hellish, but competitive when you get out to LA and you start?
Yeah, because, you could be your own worst enemy. It doesn't even matter about, like, who is out there along with the sim role. You could just get so inside, your own head about performing now. It's like, for me, at the start, you don't want to let go of that audition until you've chiseled out the masterpiece. And the funny thing is about the audition is that, and I think a lot of people maybe overthink it. I think it's just showing the example of, like, what you would do with the material, like, with the written material, with the story, how you lift that off the page for the person that wrote it or the creator that is trying to tell that story.
Yep. And
not to get too married to it, because even if you do sometimes get a particular role, you could be like, book that role, drive to the studio, get to the studio, sit behind the microphone, you're about to say the first words, and they're like, and he's Scottish now. And you're like, wait, what? They throw all these, like, curveballs at you, and I think the key to being a good performer is, aside from obviously number one, being a good actor, number two is being able to, like, be loose with the material and not get so, like,
hold on so tight.
Yeah, and even if we're doing something like a voice match to legacy characters, the genius behind Mel Blanc's performance is how wild and unhinged he was with even his own characters,
Bugs didn't always sound like this, right? He kind of sounded like this, like, hey,
he had a weirder voice at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it kind of became Bugs. And for those even past Mel, including myself, one of the things that I always wanted to include in my performance is, like, that moment in all of his performances where he gets frazzled or goes off the rails, and it's just his own kind of voice.
Yeah.
Like, it goes from Bugs Bunny sounding like this to,
"Ooh, I'm dying!" Like that weird Mel Blanc, and you could hear the echo in the room. Like that, I always wanted to put that in somewhere.
Yeah.
Because that's what I remember as a kid, and I know I wasn't the only one that heard that. So,
do you ever listen to them back and realize that you've added your own flavor to your
even within my own performance from, like, being, and I've only performed Bugs, Daffy, and Tweety for, like, maybe, like, the last 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
Compared to others before me who've been doing it for decades. Like, and even in their paths, it's kind of evolved and changed, as it does. Mm-hmm. But again, Mel Blanc will always be the blueprint. As far, I mean, there's no who are we kidding here?
Such a talent.
I equate him to human bagpipes. Like, listening to his performance, it's just like air is escaping out of every orifice. Like the power that he had.
Did he craft those characters himself? Like, basically come up with that template?
A combination. Like, if we're talking about the audition process, it's like carving a sculpture together with the artist that created the look of the characters and kind of like how they wrote the personalities. Now in comes the performer that kind of even adds that X factor to, what we now know as these icons. Yeah. So it's definitely a collaborative effort. But yeah, I mean, only one person can take credit for voicing the character. And
do you do that yourself now? Because I know you have a son.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that there's plenty of Looney Tunes going on around the house.
Oh my gosh, my favorite thing about watching, like, retro, like the original run of Looney Tunes versus anything new, is that he's like, is this vintage retro? He goes from the 80s. I'm like the 80s was the beginning of time, and nothing past it.
Before that, yeah.
But yeah, it's fun to see him kind of grow, like, because he's 9 years old now, so he's been around it for like 5 years. He's seen the effect that it has on people too.
Yep.
Because now I can't even go to Whole Foods without getting recognized. But it's only because I tell people, like, I'm the boy. No, I'm just kidding.
So you know.
It's very interesting.
I don't know if you know who's...
It usually, I don't know if you can tell by the amount of carrots I'm buying here, like the obscene amount of carrots. You okay, sir? Yeah.
Do you, around the house, though, are you working on new characters? Do you have characters that you've got, like, you know, like that's something that's precious to you that you're like, oh, your kid loves it, your family are like, oh, we love that one the best?
It's funny because I guess there's definitely, the desire to create the original character. And I think that's the point of almost every voiceover artist, is to create the one character that every school, like a kid in a schoolyard, does the voice of, you know?
Yeah.
Like when South Park came out, everyone was doing the Eric Cartman voice.
Everyone.
You know, Family Guy, Peter Griffin. That's the goal. SpongeBob, you know, Tom Kenny with SpongeBob. It's like, those are like the iconic.
Bart was a big one when that first came out. Everyone was doing it.
But, you know, I've always just, there's something about doing impressions and kind of trying to mimic people that always, like, it's like a magic trick.
It is like a magic trick when you see somebody do it, because it's so hard for us normies to to even fathom how to do
us
it.
Mutants? Yeah. No, I'll gladly take that title of mutant.
But we watch it, and it is like a magic trick, because there are so many intricacies to somebody's voice, the way that they speak, their mannerisms and everything else. For you to encapsulate all of that and do it rapidly and quickly, it just feels like a magic trick from the outside.
Yeah.
It's really remarkable. Yeah. I watched last night The Day the Earth Blew Up.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to. I knew we were going to meet today, and I was.
Did
really
you like
excited.
it? Because if not, I'll give you your money back right now. This is.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I always have like a
absolutely.
40, like 220s on me just in case.
No, absolutely. We loved
you.
it. It's been something that I've been thinking on for a while, because, again, I have Looney Tunes in my blood. Grew up Saturday morning cartoons. And so this was a great opportunity to watch a film that I didn't realize was the first full-length animated, fully animated.
Start to finish. Well, I like to say without the help of any NBA basketball players or artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
You
did
start
it.
to finish, scratch. I couldn't have been happier with how it turned out and the response that we got from fans, especially from down under in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
We had one of the best press releases thanks to our Warner Brothers PR team. They did
nice.
really well, and the characters are so loved and embraced.
Absolutely.
Down Warner Brothers World, I guess, is a big theme park there. So I remember doing like a lot of interviews and press with the news crews from Australia.
Yeah.
Always nice to say hi, and they always are, they have such a good laugh. So,
I mean, you played the two lead characters.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this has got to be one of those this is a real achievement. I mean, you've got first full-length animated feature film for Looney Tunes, and you're playing not one but two of the lead characters, Daffy and Porky, and I mean, would have been a lot of work.
It was it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
This is the Barbara Walters moment where I start like breaking down because of thinking about all the exhaustion that I suffered. No, it was a lot of work, and I mean, because look at the movie. I always say I get to do the easy stuff.
Yep.
It's the animators and the real artists behind these characters. The animators, the layout artists, the background painters, the musicians. The music is fantastic. Man, oh man,
they're so creative.
Very well done.
All the way throughout that film, there's just little Easter eggs just planted in all throughout, and you're just like, oh, and you catch them. Some you miss. I know I missed a bunch, but there's some you catch, and you're just like, wow, these people are so creative.
I feel like it's something that the industry kind of needed in a sense of, as far as like, whether they knew it or not, or I haven't heard anyone say one bad thing about the film. I'm starting to get texts of people on airplanes now taking like, look, there's 8 people watching this movie right now in this section on the plane. Like it's everywhere now.
It was lovely.
I mean, thanks. And again, Pete Browngardt, Alex Kerwan, I know Josh Mosier, Aaron Spurgeon, a lot of people that worked on the Looney Tunes cartoons series for HBO Max kind of fell into this project, and which is a thing of beauty, because usually if a TV production folds, a lot of those artists go to different productions, right? They have to start looking for, and it happens in stages too, right? So, the first thing done is usually the first thing out, like if you're looking for like another job. But they were able to maintain a lot of the same storyboard artists from that crew to tell this story, and they had already been working on it for 5 years. So
Wow, yeah.
It shows in the work. Like, you didn't have
Absolutely.
to train anyone to do this film. It was kind of like all kind of came to that. So
When it comes to your role in it, so the animation is done and locked first, and then you add?
it's a combination. It starts off with me, and then I start to catch up to the animation, and then they kind of finesse.
Gotcha.
I'm thinking about PTSD for the scene of Daffy going,
Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah.
because those were all placed like original. There was not one copy and paste. Every scene, those are all performed, like, even when there's multiple Daffys in the scene, I had to go back and we're talking about like 2 to 3 years. It was like being in jail.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
It was some high energy stuff because, I was thinking about your voice. There was a couple of scenes where, most of the scenes, pretty high energy stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah. Especially with Daffy.
Yeah.
Porky's a little bit more.
If
And it's the Daffy, the crazy Daffy,
Yeah.
not the greedy Daffy,
Yep.
it's the woo woo. Hey Porky, hey Pork man.
like he's always at like 11 or
that's-
12.
And Porky's always like, and now calm down, Daffy. We need to fix the roof or change the sidewalk.
Yep.
No cracks.
Yeah. And they somehow, managed to stumble into this alien invasion with chewing gum. But performing those characters, we would start with Porky because he's a less strenuous on the voice.
Yep.
And then switch to Daffy. And as the story goes, Pete would often say in press, like, it's a hard thing to do. Luckily, obviously, I had Alex and Pete there to guide me through the performances. Are they in outer space? Are they just on the sidewalk? Are they in the backyard? Are they inside? Are they close? Are they hiding from the alien? Like, all of these things factor into, obviously, how intense the scene is played.
Yep.
But Pete would always say, 9 times out of 10, when we would go through one pass as one character, another pass as the other character, and they would do their select takes, the ones that they liked the most, and put them together, they would always just, it would magically work out, or magically just sound like 2 different people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fascinating to watch when, realizing that knowing that we're coming
Right.
into this today and chat to you,
Yeah.
that this back and forth is happening, but it's the same person doing both.
But I'll always say this, again, we have the original shorts to go off of. We have the blueprint. Again, Mel Blanc and Bob Clampett. They have told stories with these characters for the golden age of animation for years and years and years. And we would refer to that. It's almost like we have the musical notes that we know, and we get to rearrange the orchestra
Yep.
in this new story because of the knowledge that we have of the original source material. Like, and if we just follow like those ingredients, but we're remixing like these classical songs, and if we do it right, then people like you or people that are also fond of these characters will fall in love with these characters the way that we did. So.
From a technical perspective, you mentioned that, when Daffy's always at 11 or 12. How hard is that on your voice? Have you got to a level where you can manage that really well and go and do an 8-hour session and you're fine?
I'm always like, let's just get through it. I go, we don't need to take a break. I'd rather leave here early.
Yeah.
I'd rather go.
Yeah.
I'd rather get it done. I'd rather bleed so I can see the sun on the way home.
Yep.
As opposed to take a break and then leave and it's dark outside. I'm like, well, I got nothing else. I got to go to bed and do it all over again tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm always that way when we're with these characters. I will muscle through. I'll get a little lightheaded.
I was going to say, there's a lot of with that high energy stuff, you start to hyperventilate a little bit.
Yes. I kind of forget. I'm like, oh yeah, you have to breathe. That's the other thing too. And I was talking to Fred Tatasciore, who played Farmer Jim in the film.
Yeah. By the way,
I know
that was a beautiful character. That was such a beautiful character.
Best new Looney Tunes character
when
ever.
he shows up at the end.
I mean, the nod to Lion King.
It was wonderful.
The weird Mufasa in the cloud scene. Simba.
It was adorable.
Here's your home insurance. But I was talking to Fred about this during our Looney Tunes cartoons run. Who was providing the voice of Yosemite Sam, which is like I'd say that's probably a level of difficulty, probably like 1,000% for anyone, because he's it's like squeezing your voice through a meat grinder.
Blisters on your vocal cords by the end of it.
But he already has that kind of listen to the Farmer Jim kind of has like that. Fred's register is already in that ballpark because he does Taz too for Looney Tunes cartoons. And like I was watching him do Yosemite as I was doing Bugs, and I'm like, oh my God, he's doing the same thing I do sometimes. Where you're trying to like imitate or you're doing a voice, it's almost like you have to hold your breath while you're doing the voice.
Like if I'm doing Bugs, I'm
pushing all the air out of me just to sound in relatively the bullseye of that character. And if you think about it, Mel was probably like, whatever, like it was just his natural instinct to do that nasally, high-pitched Brooklyn voice.
Yeah.
But it just came out of him normally. But for me, to kind of contort my physicality, not even thinking, like even with Daffy.
Especially with Daffy, because he's pushing out all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like not breathing when I do this voice. So if I do that for 8 hours, there's definitely some damage that has gone on.
There's a lot of pressure up here. But does the voice hurt? Have you got to a level where you've trained yourself so much that the voice?
I feel like it's like my throat's like probably Swiss cheese by now. Yeah. I need to like get a neck brace or something to keep my head from flopping over.
Well, that film, I want to say, I'm so glad that you could come in today to have a chat, because it did encourage us to watch that film. My wife, I was like, listen, I'm watching this film. Do you want to watch it with me? She was like, Looney Tunes. Okay, let's do it. And the whole way through, she was laughing. And I was sitting there enjoying it. And even our dog, for whatever reason, he doesn't watch TV, was like glued to the television. It was a fantastic film. I think it's a fantastic film. Its ratings very well.
It's done very well among the critics and the fans. And, I just hope that it's enough to warrant the creation of more Looney Tunes 2D hand-drawn films in the future, and just 2D hand-drawn films in general.
Yeah. On a personal level, what have you got coming up next? There's probably Comic-Con's coming up pretty soon.
Comic-Con, this interview, which will be airing hopefully, who knows when. This is my priority right now. The drive home again after this is going to be great.
Well, I know you've won 3 Emmys.
Yeah, they're right here. No, I'm just kidding. I always carry them with me. Yes, yes.
3 Emmys.
All 4 pretty much primarily Bugs and Daffy, which is incredible. Not just 3, but 3 in a row.
Okay, well, I'm afraid you're going to have to make some room on the shelf. You're going to put one of those Emmys down, because Remy, Winston, and Tim over here have created this.
What is this?
Glorious.
Oh my gosh.
Trophy.
What?
For you.
I was like, do I get to take some of these things home? And I do.
It's the Golden Carrot Award for Eric Bauza.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe Bugs would like to give us a little acceptance speech.
Oh, it's a lot lighter than the other ones. But, at least I can get through airport customs with this one. Doesn't look like much of a weapon, but I'd like to thank the Academy. I'd like to thank the Shield, Warner Brothers Animation, and you, sir. Thank you for this wonderful interview.
Yeah.
And, I hope
I'm going to bring this with me to Whole Foods now when I go.
Just have it under your arm.
To buy carrots. Be like, hi. This is so cool. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. Eric, it's been such a pleasure having you in. You're a lovely person. Very warm. I can't wait to hear more of what you've got to offer over the coming years, and then hopefully you'll still be with the brand when it gets to 100 years, and there'll be all kinds of celebrations as well.
Well, like I always say, who needs plastic surgery when you have cartoons? That's my secret of the fountain of youth right there.
Yeah.
But on that note, I'll say,
That's all, folks.
Thanks, Eric. You're the best.
thank you.
Cheers.